On a bright and sunny day, the air was filled with excitement at a secret military base on Earth. This base was known for training the best pilots in the world. The pilots practiced day and night, pushing their skills to the limit. Among them was Captain Alex Reed, a skilled pilot known for his daring maneuvers and fearless attitude. He loved flying more than anything else. As the sun shone brightly, something unusual happened. A loud roar broke the calm. The ground shook slightly, and all the pilots stopped what they were doing. They looked up into the sky where a strange shape appeared. It was not an airplane, nor was it a helicopter. It was a spaceship, unlike anything they had ever seen before. The ship was shiny and silver, with strange symbols and lights that blinked in different colors. The spaceship descended slowly, landing gently on the grassy area near the base. The soldiers and pilots watched in awe, their hearts racing. They had read about aliens in books and seen them in movies, but this was real. Some soldiers ran to alert the base commander, while others stood frozen, eyes wide with curiosity. Suddenly, a door on the spaceship opened with a hiss. A ramp extended down, and out stepped a group of aliens. They were tall and slender, with bright green skin that shimmered in the sunlight. Their eyes were large and round, glowing with curiosity. The aliens wore strange, colorful suits that looked like they were made of light. They moved gracefully, each step full of confidence. The base commander, a stern-looking woman named Colonel Harris, approached the aliens with caution. She wanted to show strength, but also to understand why they had come. The aliens spoke in a soft, musical language that sounded like a gentle breeze. Colonel Harris couldn't understand them, but she felt their calm energy. One of the aliens stepped forward. He had a shiny silver badge on his chest that seemed to sparkle. He raised his hands, and suddenly a small device appeared. It projected a holographic image of the galaxy. The alien pointed to Earth and then gestured towards the sky. Colonel Harris felt a mix of fear and excitement. What did they want with Earth? After a few moments, the alien leader finally spoke in broken English. "We come to learn. Show us your flying!" His voice was smooth, but it carried an air of authority. The challenge was clear. They wanted to see the best human pilot in action. Captain Reed watched from a distance, his heart pounding. He had always dreamed of flying against aliens. This was his chance to show them what humans could do. He stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. "I'll accept your challenge," he declared, his voice steady. The crowd of soldiers and pilots cheered behind him. They believed in Reed and wanted to see him fly. The aliens nodded, clearly pleased. They exchanged glances, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Reed could sense their confidence. They had advanced technology, and they thought they would easily defeat him. But Reed was determined to surprise them. He knew that human creativity and instinct could outshine any machine. The aliens explained their plans. They wanted to challenge Reed to a series of aerial demonstrations. They would fly high in the sky and perform complex maneuvers to show off their skills. Reed listened carefully, nodding as they spoke. He understood the challenge and was eager to accept. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Reed returned to the hangar to prepare his aircraft. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had to show not just his skills, but also the spirit of humanity. The challenge would not just be about flying. It would be about proving that humans could be creative, brave, and unpredictable. With determination in his heart, Captain Reed set to work. The other pilots gathered around him, offering advice and support. They all knew that this challenge was not just for Reed, but for all of humanity. Everyone was eager to show the aliens what humans were capable of. Little did they know that this challenge would change everything. The arrival of the aliens would lead to a showdown that would test the limits of human flying and create a new bond between species. Reed was ready to take to the skies, and he was determined to leave a mark on the alien visitors. The next morning at the military base was buzzing with energy. The sun rose slowly, casting a warm glow over the hangars and runways. Captain Alex Reed stood in front of his aircraft, a sleek fighter jet, its dark surface glistening in the sunlight. He took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today was the day he would face the aliens in the sky. As Reed inspected his jet, he thought about the challenge ahead. The aliens had high-tech ships, and their flying skills were impressive. He needed to come up with a strategy that would surprise them. The other pilots gathered around him, their faces filled with determination and support. "Alex, you've got this," said Sarah, one of the top pilots. "Just remember to think outside the box. You can't let them predict your moves." Reed nodded, grateful for their encouragement. He began to run through the different maneuvers he planned to showcase. He wanted to demonstrate not only speed, but also agility and creativity. Humans could fly with instinct, and that was something no machine could replicate. In the hangar, Reed's fellow pilots discussed their own experiences. They shared stories of daring flights, unexpected challenges, and the thrill of flying. Each tale reminded Reed of the human spirit, the determination to push beyond limits. He felt inspired by their words and ready to show the aliens what humanity could do. As the hours passed, Reed put on his flight suit, adjusting it snugly. The suit felt like a second skin, and it reminded him of the countless flights he had taken. He climbed into the cockpit of his jet, feeling the familiar rush of adrenaline. The controls were like an extension of his body. He practiced the takeoff in his mind, visualizing each step. Meanwhile, the aliens were also preparing. Their advanced ship hovered nearby, its smooth surface reflecting the sunlight. Reed watched as they moved with precision, adjusting their machines. He noticed how different they were from humans. They were calm, almost robotic in their movements. It made Reed even more determined to show them the beauty of human flight. As the sun reached its highest point, the time for the aerial challenge was drawing near. The military base was filled with excitement. Soldiers and civilians gathered to watch, and the air buzzed with chatter and anticipation. Reed felt the weight of their expectations on his shoulders, but he welcomed it. He wanted to make them proud. Before heading to the runway, Reed gathered his fellow pilots for a pep talk. "Today, it's not just about me. It's about all of us and what it means to be human. We are creative, we are daring, and we are unpredictable. Let's show them that!" The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted. As Reed taxied his jet to the runway, he spotted the alien ship ready to take off. It gleamed under the sun, a symbol of their advanced technology. Reed couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and excitement. What if he failed? But he pushed the doubt aside. He remembered the training, the support from his friends, and the thrill of flying. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1, lift off! The jets roared to life, and Reed soared into the sky. The world below shrank as he climbed higher, the ground disappearing beneath him. He looked down at the base, feeling a rush of freedom. This was what he loved. This was where he belonged. As Reed reached altitude, he glanced at the alien ship. It rose smoothly beside him, its engines humming quietly. The aliens signaled to him, and Reed felt a surge of competitive spirit. He would not let them outshine him. The aliens began to perform their aerial tricks, flying in perfect formations. They twisted and turned, leaving trails of colorful light behind them. Reed watched in awe, but also with determination. He knew he could do more than just follow their lead. As the two ships glided through the clouds, Reed practiced his own maneuvers. He dove, rolled, and twisted, using every ounce of skill he had. He could feel the thrill of the flight, the rush of adrenaline coursing through his veins. He was ready for the battle ahead. With the sun shining bright above, Reed prepared to show the aliens that humanity's spirit and creativity were unmatched. He was ready to prove that humans could fly with heart and soul, and today would be the day he made history. The day of the Sky Challenge had finally arrived. The sun shone brightly over the military base, casting a golden glow on everything. A large crowd gathered to watch the spectacle. Soldiers, pilots, and civilians stood side by side, their eyes fixed on the sky. Excitement filled the air as they waited for Captain Alex Reed to take on the alien pilots. As Reed stood beside his sleek fighter jet, he felt the energy of the crowd. They believed in him, and that made him even more determined. He glanced at the alien ship hovering nearby, its smooth design glistening in the sunlight. Reed knew the aliens were confident in their abilities, but he was ready to show them the unique flair of human flying. "Let's do this!" Reed shouted to himself, stepping into the cockpit of his jet. He fastened his seatbelt, feeling the familiar comfort of the controls. The engine roared to life, and he took a deep breath. This was it. He would make his mark today. The alien ship began to rise, and the aliens inside waved to the crowd. They had an air of confidence, their faces calm and focused. Reed knew they were skilled pilots, but he was ready to surprise them. He had practiced his tricks over and over, and he was eager to demonstrate the creativity that came naturally to humans. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1, take off! With a thunderous roar, Reed's jet shot into the sky. The thrill of acceleration rushed through him as he soared higher. Below, the crowd cheered, their voices a distant hum. Reed focused on the sky ahead, ready for whatever the aliens would throw at him. As Reed climbed higher, he could see the alien ship beside him. It moved smoothly, gliding effortlessly through the air. The aliens began their first maneuver, flying in a tight formation, twisting and turning with precision. Reed watched, impressed by their coordination but determined not to be outdone. Reed took a deep breath and decided to make his move. He pulled back on the control stick and executed a daring flip. His jet rolled over, twisting gracefully in the air. The crowd gasped in awe, and Reed felt a rush of excitement. This was what flying was all about, the freedom to explore the sky and push the limits. As he leveled out, Reed glanced over at the aliens. They looked surprised, their eyes wide. He could see their confidence waver for a moment. Encouraged by their reaction, he decided to take it up a notch. He sped forward, pulling into a steep climb. The jet soared higher, and the G-force pressed him into his seat. He had practiced this maneuver countless times, and it felt exhilarating. Once at the top of the climb, Reed flipped his jet upside down, creating a perfect loop. The jet spun gracefully, leaving a trail of smoke behind. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Reed felt a surge of pride. He had shown them a taste of human flying, and he was just getting started. The aliens quickly regrouped, clearly motivated to respond. They executed their next maneuver, darting in and out of the clouds like graceful birds. Their ship moved as one, a beautiful dance in the sky. Reed watched, admiring their skill, but knowing he had to think fast. He decided to surprise them again. Instead of following their path, he veered off to the side, diving through a thick patch of clouds. He flew low, maneuvering his jet skillfully. He could hear the cheers of the crowd growing louder. It felt amazing to know they were all rooting for him. Emerging from the clouds, Reed shot back up into the open sky, pulling off a series of rapid rolls and sharp turns. He was in his element, and the adrenaline coursed through him. The alien pilots looked shaken but determined. They were not going to let Reed steal the show so easily. The challenge continued, and Reed kept pushing himself. He could feel the thrill of competition as he executed each maneuver. He was determined to prove that humans could be unpredictable and daring. This was not just a battle of skill, it was a battle of spirit. As the two sides danced through the sky, the crowd watched in awe, witnessing the clash of two different worlds. Reed knew he was making history, and with each move, he aimed to showcase the incredible heart of humanity. Today, he would show the aliens that flying was not just about technology, it was about passion, creativity, and the joy of freedom. The Sky Challenge raged on, filled with excitement and surprises. Captain Alex Reed soared through the air, his jet dancing gracefully against the blue backdrop. The crowd below erupted with cheers as he executed daring maneuvers, showcasing the unique flair of human flying. But as the challenge continued, an unexpected twist would soon change everything. Reed focused on the alien ship, trying to anticipate their next move. The aliens had flown in a tight formation earlier, but now they began to spread out, their ship weaving through the clouds like a shadow. Reed knew they were planning something, and he needed to stay alert. Suddenly, one of the aliens shot forward, darting ahead at incredible speed. It was a bold move, and Reed's eyes widened in surprise. The alien's ship glimmered as it zipped through the air, leaving a trail of colorful light. It was beautiful, but Reed felt a twinge of concern. He knew that speed alone wouldn't win the challenge. It was about skill and strategy. As the alien pilot continued to push ahead, Reed followed closely. He was determined not to let them get too far ahead. He pushed the throttle of his jet, feeling the power beneath him. The jet roared in response, and he accelerated, quickly catching up. He could hear the crowd's cheers echoing in his ears, fueling his determination. But then something strange happened. The alien ship began to glow brightly, a brilliant flash that caught Reed off guard. He squinted, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. Just as he did, a burst of energy shot from the alien ship, illuminating the sky in dazzling colors. Reed's heart raced. What are they doing? He thought. The energy blast moved quickly, and before he could react, it surged towards him. He instinctively pulled his jet to the side, narrowly avoiding the strange wave of light. It passed by with a loud crackle, leaving him momentarily stunned. The crowd gasped collectively, their excitement turning into confusion. What was happening? Reed's mind raced as he tried to comprehend the alien pilot's strategy. This was unlike any challenge he had ever faced. Reed regained his focus and glanced at the alien ship. It had now regrouped with its fellow pilots, and they moved together, creating a circle in the sky. Their ships sparkled as they formed a mesmerizing pattern, a dazzling display of light and color. It was a show of unity, but also a clear sign that they had more tricks up their sleeves. Thinking quickly, Reed decided it was time to change his approach. He had to adapt to the unexpected turn of events. Instead of following their lead, he would disrupt their formation. With a deep breath, he pulled his jet into a steep dive, aiming directly for the center of their circle. As he descended, Reed felt the G-force press against him. The jet picked up speed, and the wind rushed past his face. He could hear the cheers from the crowd grow louder, echoing his determination. This was a bold move, and he knew he had to execute it perfectly. Just as he reached the circle, he pulled up sharply, executing a dramatic barrel roll. The jet spun gracefully, flying right through the center of their formation. The aliens were taken by surprise, their synchronization disrupted. Reed could see their expressions of shock through the cockpit of their ships. In that moment, Reed felt a surge of triumph. He had turned the tables, showing the aliens that humans were unpredictable and full of surprises. The crowd erupted into cheers, their excitement reaching a fever pitch. Reed could hardly believe it. He was holding his own against the aliens. But as he flew away from the center of the circle, he noticed something alarming. The alien ships began to glow again, but this time the energy was swirling around them, forming a powerful vortex. It was like a storm brewing in the sky, and Reed could feel the tension rising. Suddenly, the vortex released a massive shock wave that rippled through the air. Reed struggled to maintain control of his jet as the powerful wave hit him. It knocked him off balance, and he fought against the force, trying to regain stability. "Stay focused," he reminded himself, gripping the controls tightly. He could see the alien pilots regrouping, ready to take advantage of the chaos. Reed realized this was the moment of truth. He needed to act quickly and decisively. With a deep breath, Reed pushed his jet to its limits. He would not back down. He would show the aliens that human courage and skill could withstand any challenge. As he steadied himself, he prepared for the next round of the Sky Challenge, ready to face whatever unexpected twists lay ahead. The Sky Challenge had transformed from a fierce competition into a thrilling adventure, filled with unexpected twists and surprises. Captain Alex Reed had fought hard, showcasing the unique spirit of humanity. After the chaos of the previous moments, he found himself breathing heavily, his heart still racing in excitement. But as the challenge came to a close, a new opportunity was about to unfold. As the last shockwave faded into the distance, Reed's jet flew smoothly through the sky. The crowd below erupted in applause, and the sound of their cheers filled the air. Reed felt a swell of pride. He had shown the aliens that humans could fly with skill and creativity, but he also sensed that something had changed among the alien pilots. Their expressions were no longer of competition. Instead, they looked intrigued. As the two sides descended to land, Reed's mind buzzed with thoughts. What would happen next? Would the aliens view humanity as a threat? Or had they come to understand that this challenge was more than just a battle in the sky? He hoped they could see it as a chance for friendship. Once on the ground, Reed exited his jet to a sea of cheering fans. Soldiers, families, and friends rushed to congratulate him. But as he celebrated with them, he couldn't shake the feeling that he needed to connect with the alien pilots. They had shared an incredible experience, and he wanted to acknowledge that. Just then, the alien ships landed nearby. The alien pilots emerged, stepping out of their sleek crafts with an air of dignity. They wore shiny suits that reflected the sunlight, and their large, expressive eyes scanned the crowd. Reed took a deep breath and approached them, determined to reach out. The leader of the alien pilots, a tall figure with smooth skin and bright eyes, stepped forward. Reed could see curiosity in their gaze. He smiled and extended his hand in greeting. "I'm Alex Reed, a pilot from Earth. It was an honor to compete with you." The alien looked at Reed's hand, then at his face. After a moment of hesitation, they reached out and shook his hand gently. "I am Krell," they replied in a smooth voice, their words echoing slightly. "Your flying was impressive. We did not expect such skill from a human." Reed's smile widened. "Thank you. You all flew beautifully. I've never seen anything like it." He gestured to the other alien pilots who stood watching with interest. "I think we all learned something today." Krell nodded, their expression softening. "We came to test your abilities, but we found something deeper. You are not just strong pilots, you are passionate and creative. This was more than a challenge, it was a celebration of our skills." The crowd behind Reed fell silent, hanging on every word. He could feel a connection forming, and it filled him with hope. "I believe we have a chance to learn from each other," Reed said. "Together we can share our cultures and explore the skies in new ways." Krell glanced back at their fellow pilots, who nodded in agreement. "We are willing to meet and learn. Let us not be rivals but allies." The crowd erupted into applause once more, and Reed felt a rush of joy. This was the outcome he had hoped for. The two sides began to interact, sharing stories about their worlds and experiences. Reed introduced the aliens to some of Earth's flying techniques, while they showed him their advanced technology and the grace of their flying style. It was a fascinating exchange, filled with laughter and excitement. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Reed stood beside Krell, watching the horizon. "This is just the beginning," he said, feeling a sense of unity. "Imagine what we can achieve together." Krell smiled, their eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Yes, together we can explore the stars. We can create a future where humans and aliens soar as one." The crowd cheered again, and Reed felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had transformed a competitive challenge into a bridge between two worlds. In that moment, he realized that the sky was not just a battleground, it was a canvas for friendship and cooperation. As night fell, the stars began to twinkle above. Reed and Krell looked up, knowing that they were not alone in the universe anymore. They had opened a door to new possibilities, and together they would fly into a brighter future.